Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes and getting likes, hitting dingers and getting listeners. Back again with another episode. This is your only daily Brewers podcast, uploaded every morning, 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We are on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Anchor, YouTube, you name it. We're everywhere, guys. We come at you every day with the essential Brewers news. We talk about games. We talk about recaps. Everything Milwaukee Brewers is what we talk about on this channel, and that's what we're here to do. If you guys like this, you can support us by going over to the patreon.com and typing in Miller Park Minute, patreon.com/Miller Park Minute. You can also use our SeatGeek code at SeatGeek and save $20 off your first purchase with that code, and that code is Miller Park Minutes. That being said, guys, today we are getting into it. We are 4 games into spring. We are 2-2 in spring play, Cactus League play. Today we put up a victory, 10-4 over the Kansas City Royals. Now, obviously, spring training stuff doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot when it comes to the long and short of things. But there are some key takeaways, and there are some things that I am going to talk about today that I like seeing. Garrett Mitchell got another hit today. He had 3 at-bats, got a hit and an RBI. He's batting .500 on the spring training, which is very good. Monte Harris saw some action. He did not get on base today. No hits today. Adames, 0 hits so far. I'm sorry, 0 hits on the day. He does have some hits so far in spring training. You're looking at Contreras, nothing today. Really, the story of this game was the late action by the young guys. The young guys are kind of hitting, and that's what we want to see. There's a competition with these position players, as we've talked about, and that's really good. There were some late homers in this game. One hit by oh my gosh, who hit the homer? I don't even remember. Oh, that's really bad of me. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Let me look here. I was trying to remember off the top of my head. Maybe there wasn't any homers. Maybe I was wrong. I didn't think of the wrong game. I don't know. It's spring, and I've been watching a lot of baseball. When baseball's back, I dive really deep into it. But I mean, we did have 12 hits today. 12 hits, scoring 10 runs, to 11, scoring 4 on the KC side. Now, the pitching, I want to talk about the pitching for a second. Hauser gave up 1 hit. He struck 1 out. Bryce Wilson came out. He gave up 1 hit, but didn't allow any runners. Milner got hit. That's where the runs came in. Milner gave up the Strzelecki, also gave up a run. You know, and we're seeing these guys, and this is kind of the importance of this, is we're seeing these guys get some action. Now, Strzelecki and Milner will probably have bounce backs. 2-run jack. Mike Brasso. I'm sorry, Mike Brasso did hit a 2-run homer today. I lied. See, I should just looked right in the middle. So Mike Brasso hits a 2-run homer. He also did a gender reveal for a baby. It turned out to be a boy. There was a cute little family there that had that. That was kind of cool. And he hit a home run today, so that was also very awesome. It's spring training, so I mean, it's not something I'm going to deep dive on, guys. It's like not a lot to focus on. I mean, we won. Great, cool, wonderful. Let's move on to the next one, right? So there is a lot of chatter right now about who's going to make the roster. So MLB put out an article today of dark horse candidates to make each opening day roster. So, of course, we scroll down, we skip all the other teams because who do we care about? The Brewers. So, who is our dark horse? According to MLB.com, which typically, when you read an article by MLB.com, they get their information from our beat writers. So Adam McKelvey's probably the guy writing it. Gus Varlin. They're actually saying Gus Varlin. So Brewers haven't carried a Rule 5 draft pick since 2016. Trivia question. Name it in the comments. Who was that 2016 Rule 5 pick? But they will like what they have in Varlin, a former A's Dodgers prospect who saw significant uptick in velocity after moving to the bullpen last year. The difficulty is finding a roster spot in Milwaukee's remade bullpen, especially since so many candidates, Javi Guerra, Joel Payamps, Bryce Wilson, and Adrian Hauser, if he's not in the rotation, are out of options. And that's written by Adam McKelvey, of course. So Gus Varlin, our Rule 5 pick, is our dark horse, which I like. So there's another MLB.com. We're gonna hang on those articles because they've got some good stuff coming. First rounder question. First MLB spring. How about a first home run? What's going through Eric Brown Jr.'s mind as he circled the bases on Sunday? Not much. Turns out Brown, the Brewers' first round draft pick last year, had just homered against the A's in his very first Major League spring training game. My first big league home run. I didn't realize it was a 2-run home run until I got back to the locker room, Brown said Monday. I blacked out, if I'm being honest. It was a dream come true, and I'm at a loss for words. So, it's not a first big league home run, but nonetheless, it's important in significance, especially for being a draft pick, especially for being a young draft pick. Then they talk about Yelly's first one in Port St. Lucie, Florida, against the Mets. He hit it off Matt Harvey. So it's just kind of a cool moment. It's a very cool moment for a young draftee and a young player. Monte Harris, I forgot to mention this. Monte Harris was in today's game. He was traded to Miami for Christian Yelich. And Monte Harris, let's go back to him. Monte Harris did not get on base today, or did not get any hits today, but he has got a couple so far already this spring, so it's good to see this. This is good. We want these guys all hitting and competing, and then it makes the manager and the coach's jobs way more tough to determine who is going to be on that roster, and I like that. I like a little competition. I like a friendly competition when it comes to Brewers roster spots. And that's all we can hope for right now. I mean, we're not rooting to take a first place in this thing or anything like that. We're playing 500 ball, which is fine. We want the Brewers to be competing day in and day out in this time, and we want there to be enough internal competition as well. We've seen Luke Voigt get some at bats. We haven't seen Yelly really yet, which is quite all right, which is fine. He's kind of a late guy anyway. Some of the veterans. It does look like Corbin Burns is going to be going on Wednesday or Thursday. So they'll probably throw him out there for an inning or so. If we go over to Brewer Fanatic, brewerfanatic.com is a site that I am partnered with. They've got great information over there, guys. Good articles. These guys really put some time in. The state of the bullpen is one that they're talking about. Harold Hutchinson, our good buddy over there. The bullpen has historically been a strength of the Brewers over the years, even in the doldrums of late 1990s. Today, we take a look at how it stacks up in 2023. Past teams may not have had horses to take the lead in some years, but they were often able to hold the leads they did have. In 2018, Josh Hader, Jeremy Jeffress, and Corey Knebel. Jeffress is out. Corey Knebel is still, I believe, with the Phillies. He spent some time with the Phillies and with the Dodgers. So we're the Crew's equivalency of the Nasty Boys. The Reds turned to in 1990. With what we've seen from infield, outfield, and starting rotation, the Brewers can take many leads. Will the 2023 bullpen hold them? Let's look. 40-man roster. Devin Williams has been dominating since this rookie year campaign in 2022 or 2020. He was rookie of the year that year. After Hader's trade, he posted 15 saves. With the departure of Brad Boxer as a free agent and the decision to put Brent Suter on waivers, top returning relievers this year are Peter Strzelecki. That's what I was talking about. Peter got knocked up today, but I mean, I don't think that's something we got to worry about in the long haul. Matt Bush, Hobie Milner, Hobie again, another important piece, and Jake Cousins. Pitched well when he was healthy. There's a big question if he will need Tommy John surgery. On the acquisitions, Javi Guerra looks promising, but only really settled in the Rays last season. Justin Wilson could also be a solid lefty, but he will be on the 60-day IL while recovering from last year's Tommy John surgery. Joel Payamps, acquired in the William Contreras deal, looks to be a solid Rule 5 pick. Gus Varland, as we just talked about, Gus Varland struggled in 2 years in Double-A since the pandemic. The Brewers have some other sources for bullpen help. Corbin Burns and Aaron Ashby spent a lot of time in the bullpen when they first reached the majors. Some of those in the mix for rotation jobs could find themselves in the pen. Another note, Abner Uribe and Cam Robinson have both intrigued as relievers in the minors, but more likely to be 2024 opening day options. Still, they look potent 1-2 punch for the Brewers latter half of the 2020s. Alex Claudio was a valuable asset prior to the 3-hitter rule. He was our specialist guy. Lucas Ekra, he's got a good story. He hasn't really emerged. He's been with us for a couple of years, so that'll be an interesting one. Robert Stock was the guy we just recently added. He was a non-roster invite. Tego Vera spent 3 years in Japan, posted some good numbers. The X Factors, we've got Clayton Andrews, Matt Hardy, version 1. No, just kidding. Michelle Vassalato, I don't know that one. Ryan Mindorf, James Meeker, Pablo Garabitos, and Carlos Morales. So those are all just different options. I think there could be some other pieces slotted in there. Maybe an Adrian Hauser, maybe an Aaron Ashby, maybe an Ethan Small. He didn't mention that. So we could use some of those guys as relief as well. So those are just things to look forward to coming up. We're seeing basically right now we just got to roll everybody out there and get everybody a crack at this thing, and then see where we go from there. Yeah, other than that, I mean, we've really now we're just in the stake of game days. It's all game days at this point. Milwaukee Brewers hit hard as team drops both games. The split squad, we already talked about that a little bit yesterday with UK Brew Crew. Go check out his channel. We also talked to Barrel MKE, the Barrel MKE, David Go. Peter Go will be coming on in the next few weeks. The Barrel Yard, they've been showing off the Barrel Yard. I don't know if I really talked about this because like these stadium things just aren't the most interesting of topics to me right now in baseball. Like I'm more excited that there's live baseball going on a day in and day out basis than I am that we're getting like cool new things. Like I've got opening day locked up. I'm going to opening day. That's like a tradition in my. Hopefully, my kid doesn't get sick. Knock on wood. But those are like traditions. You got to hold those traditions true. And I love doing opening day. That's probably one of the funnest days of the year for me. I just enjoy it, and I think this year we're gonna set something up where we're gonna sit there and we're gonna maybe do a show from the parking lot pre-game kind of thing. We're the big issue that I wanted to kind of close the episode here with today. I want to talk about this pace thing. Now we're only 2 days in, 3 technically if you count Friday. 4, I guess. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I guess 4. So we're into this thing, right? And I've watched a handful of games already. Listened to others where we didn't have video. Obviously, more or less, some of the Brewers games don't have video. But I think the thing I like about it is it does seem like it goes a lot faster, but it does make you kind of draws you in and pays more attention. Now, as a baseball fan, I'm always listening, but I'm not always looking at the screen. So things go by a little bit quicker now in this game. Some of the first couple games were like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think our first game was 2 hours and 22 minutes. I see if it tells me the time of this game. I guess I never really factored before this even became an issue. I never really factored like time of game into things I thought about when I thought about a baseball game. So I'm kind of curious what they say the time of this game was. First pitch. Time 2 hours and 44 minutes. So just shy of 3 hours for a baseball game. Again, those of us who have been long time fans aren't as offended about these things. And they're minutia things, you know, they're trying to do something here. Like it or dislike it. They're trying to make these games shorter. I mean, 2 hours and 44 minutes versus 3 hours. Yeah, sure, you're saving 15 minutes, but I mean, you're gonna commit that anyway with TV time and pregame and all that good stuff anyway. So should these games be short? I don't know. I mean, 3-4 hour football games, you know, other sports are just as long. I don't know. The timer and the rules and stuff like that, the implementation seems to be okay. It seems to be relatively seamless. They're just making a change to, and I said it yesterday when I was talking to Mark, UK Brooker. I said, you know, they're just trying to make these things faster, make them more action, make them more wide appealing to new fans. But they're not realizing that the current fans of the game are already in on this. They're already enjoying it, you know. Why change it for the existing fans? You know, are you trying to alienate your existing fan base? And we've talked about this 100 times. They do things all the time where they're trying to alienate us. I mean, the game today is different than the game was 3 years ago. I don't know. Sound off in the comments. Let me know. Shoot me a message. We might do a live session on this actually and talk about the game. I'm going to continue to talk about this throughout, like week 1, week 2, week 3, you know, into the regular season. I want to see how it feels once we're in regular season games. You know, because we're in a game where you're throwing out, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Brewers literally did a pitcher an inning, and I think they've done that in just about every game that they've had so far. So, I mean, is that really, I mean, are you really learning anything right now? Is it going to be different when a starter is implemented? Is it going to be different when you're using the same guys? You know, right now you're seeing a lot of guys that have already spent the time in the minors. Now, we did in our starting lineups, I'm not saying we aren't getting major league players because we are. I mean, you started your day with Mitchell, Adames, Contreras, Hira, Brasso, Owen Miller, Bolt, Terang, Weimer. So you're getting everyday players. I mean, at the end of the day, you're getting your everyday players in there. I did not look. Yeah, looks like Terang had a hit. Weimer did not. No. But so the everyday players are the players that we expect to be everyday players are getting their at bats and are getting hits. Out of the players on here, only the late names, the late inning game names, do not have hits. Otherwise, a lot of these guys are getting hits, which that's what spring training is about. It's about tuning up the bat. It's about warming up, getting ready to go. Same for the pitchers. So, and they gave the win to Colin Ray. It looks like. All right, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, the rules impact the new players, the existing MLB players, I should say, the most in this thing. The Christian Yelich's of the world, the Corbin Burns, the Devin Williams, because they haven't spent that time in the minors recently. You know, the minor leaguers are really the ones who are really keyed in and know what's going on. So they're probably leaning on them a little bit to kind of get this stuff. Then there's some notes here, and I'm just going to kind of quickly glance through them. So as of Saturday, they said Jesse Winker is ahead in comeback from surgery. Winker underwent knee surgery and neck surgery last fall, so the Brewers are easing him towards hitter duty with hopes of getting him in the outfield later in spring training. So far, his progress has exceeded expectations, is what they're saying. So there's a quote from Craig Counsell here. I'd characterize him as the original schedule we put forth. He's ahead of it, Brewers manager Craig Counsell said. He's going to be ahead of our original schedule in spring training. That's an accomplishment because we're going to be conservative. I think you'll see him in the field by the end of spring. Absolutely. That's 100% his goal. So that's great. I mean, especially with a guy like that. That guy can hit, and Singleton got in today's game too. That's a good one. Taylor, this is who is positioned to split duties in center field and right at the start of the season, has been fighting a sprained elbow, according to manager Craig Counsell. He missed the first week of spring training games. Imaging of the joint has been clean, said Counsell. We'll just try to reduce symptoms and try to get the symptoms out of there. Then it's a pain tolerance thing. Fair enough. Justin Wilson is on the 60-day we already talked about there. Ashby Stillmayer, June, late May, early June for Jason Alexander. So that's the news and injuries. We haven't seen any injuries on our guys. Knock on wood. But yeah, we are. We are rolling into spring. It's rolling along. These episodes are going to be somewhat quick sometimes due to lack of news outside of game news, and we're not gonna spend deep breakdowns on the spring training because it's just there's not a ton to break down. Like, this isn't live game action. You had 9 pitchers today, so we can't talk about anybody's outing in any serious length. And you add all the minor leaguers at the end. It's not your true roster. And we get to talk about it. And if something good happens, we're going to highlight it, obviously. So that being said, guys, this is literally all I've got for the evening. So Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Remember to like and subscribe, rate and review on your favorite podcast platform. And check us out tomorrow. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys, and have a great rest of your day. As always, go Brewers.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers.